Now, a lot of us of course think that the Submariner was the highlight of Rolex's 2020 releases. I actually think it's the Oyster Perpetual that stole the show. The brand most low-key model replaces its 39mm case with a larger 41 case size. Welcome back to Watch Society. I am Rida, and here are my thoughts on the new Rolex Oyster Perpetual releases. Which one is heavily promoted right now and which one is going to be a collectible later on is what we're gonna find out. Let's get into it. Well, of course it makes ton of sense that Rolex added a 41mm case size to the Oyster Perpetual range. It did take me by surprise that they completely binned the 39 case size. It does not exist anymore. That debate we used to have whether you should get an OP39 or Rolex Explorer 214270 in 39mm case size, Rolex absolutely nipped that, so it does not exist anymore. Your option right now with the 39mm case is a Rolex Explorer, and that's about it. You can't get a 39 in any model range from Rolex. The 36 case size is good for a lot of people, up to a 7-inch wrist, and of course the next jump to that is 41. There's no options in the middle. It could look actually substantially larger on the wrist. There's of course a few variations of the Oyster Perpetual in 41 case size, all in stainless steel, but there are two in particular that are heavily promoted. The black dial one that Rolex of course calls the bright black with a sunray dial with white gold hour markers and hands, and the silver sunray finished dial with yellow gold hour markers and hands. It will be really interesting to see in person how the gold and silver plays off. I'm in two minds about it, whether the most classic looking Oyster Perpetual with a silver dial be the hottest out of the whole range, or whether the stated obvious change nominate one of the candy colors as the hottest one. We don't know of course until we get hands on with it, but let's just first try to get a sense of how new those vibrant green, blue and red colors are. The Californienne is an LA-based company that had reimagined Cartier and Rolex watches with candy-colored dials, but Rolex wasn't a fan and dubbed their entire operation with a lawsuit complaint that had only resolved in November 2019. Rolex claim is that this is in connection with trademark infringement and counterfeiting, but clearly this is not the case. I mean, they knew that these candy colors are in high demand and simply Rolex had them on the pipeline. Rolex also had a similar color option on the 4 and 5 digit day date references for Stella dials that were made for the Middle East market. So the new colors are actually not new in concept, they've just put them on the Oyster Perpetual range. I also like that Rolex added the Easy Link system to the new Oyster Perpetual. It was only available before on the Datejust 2s and some of the sport models, but it's definitely a big plus that it's now on the Oyster Perpetual as well. The black and silver are both classic looks and both are well executed and get an extra punch of course the yellow gold markers on the silver dial and white gold markers on the black dial. On the other hand, of course, I'm sure we were all shocked in the beginning by the color releases at first, myself included, but as this shock subsides, I started to see the appeal of the yellow, red and green dials on the Oyster Perpetuals. I would actually get all colors if I can, but the ones that I really like are the yellow dial one as well as the turquoise blue, or some may call it the Tiffany blue. Those would be the two that I'm eyeing out of the entire range. Overall, if you're looking for a sport watch proportion, an all-in-one type of look, then the Oyster Perpetual in 41 and 36 can actually be the one. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed watching, subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you do want to see my take at the GMT Master 2 in two-tone, aka the root beer. This is a watch that I've been looking to speak about for a very long time and I recently had the opportunity to get hands-on with it. Until I catch you guys on the next one, thank you for watching and take care.